Greetings, my excellent friends. My name is Gavaroc Fevinor. Flying through my torso is my loyal Gala kitten, and to my left and the screen's right is the intrepid reporter Ellie. This is the beginning of the final leg of this adventure, the story of Hildibrand Manderville. We still have quite a bit to go, but this is the beginning of the ramp up to the climax. When last we left off, some time ago for me, we had beaten down Ultros and his giant friend with the not-so-stable nostrils, Typhon. Or Tython. Typhon? Tython. Typhon? Typhoff. Typhon? I don't know, but it was a big pink monster and it shouted and sneezed. But it's gone now, so crisis averted. But alas, we did not defeat the Phantom Thief, who made it away with yet another prized treasure. But perhaps it is not on me to defeat the Phantom Thief after all. We have two incredibly talented and differently methoded inspectors on our side, and they should be able to fashion some sort of victory eventually. Perhaps. Yes, that sounds good. So, let us see if Ellie knows where our friend Hildibrand has gotten off to this time. When she's finished writing her notes, of course. Shades of Sil'dih. Ellie would share with you a shocking new turn in the Phantom Thief case. I was wondering when you'd show up, Gavaroc. Hope you haven't made any plans for the day, because we have got a situation on our hands. Remember our good friend the Phantom Thief? I do. Well, it seems he's decided to branch out from burglary to cold-blooded murder. That's bad. That's my expert input there. If the rumours are to be believed, he's claimed 3 victims already, all influential members of Ul'Dan society. Mr. Manyfaces has been kind enough to leave one of his signature calling cards at every scene, leaving no doubt as to the identity of the murderer. The message is always the same. The weight of 5 corpses will bring the scales of justice to balance. More riddles. Not that you'll hear me complaining. No, the only good thing my readers like more than a good mystery is a good murder mystery. Ever since the story broke, the Mithril Eye's been selling like Pond's cakes. The only rub is that it's left me no time to look into the thief's last message. Until now, that is. Shall we, Gavaroc? The hidden treasure of Ul'Dan, was it? If there's anyone who can shed some light on this, it's you-know-who. The Sunsilk Tapestries. Who know what? Why no hum? Wymond? We're speaking with Wymond. Why was I supposed to know that it was him? I haven't spoken to Wymond in quests and quests ago. Oh, very well. No doubt Ellie believes me to be more intelligent and capable of collecting dots than I, in fact, am, so I am willing to let her continue to believe that as I make my way to the tapestries. With head held high and brow unfurrowed. Perhaps a quick etherite trip will cut down on the travel time. I should be kinder to Wymond. After all, he was perhaps the first face I ever laid eyes on in Eorzea. Back when my memories began. Well now, if it ain't my favourite venturer, and my favourite Mithril Eye reporter along with him, tell me, what have I done to deserve the pleasure of your company today? I see. As much as I'd like to help 2 of me best mates, I'm afraid you found old Wymond at a loss. Ul'Dan has more than its fair share of treasures, hidden and otherwise. I reckon our phantom friend could be after just about any of them. I can tell you this much, though. Whatever the thief's got his eyes on, it's got the Sultan sworn in a right dither. Word has it they formed a regiment of their best and brightest to safeguard the royal vaults from this very threat. The Sultan's Sworn aren't like to be forthcoming with information, but it's the only lead we've got. Come on, Gavaroc. I'd say it's time we paid a visit to the heart of the Swarm. The heart of the Swarm? I don't want to talk to Sarah Kerrigan. Oh, Sworn. Good, that's good. Oi, hold up there, Ellie. I ain't generally the worrying type, but you might want to think twice before getting yourselves involved in this. A man in my business develops a nose for danger, and this time the stench is something fierce. You're a reporter, Ellie, and a fine one at that. Don't put that pretty neck of yours at risk trying to play hero. Your concern is touching, but I can assure you that I am ready for whatever dangers lie ahead. Besides, being a reporter is about more than selling papers. I have a duty to seek out the truth and convey it to the people. Come, Gavaroc. Time is of the essence. Indeed it is. After all, 3 victims, Ellie said our thief has thus far ended the lives of, but the warning he posted indicated that 5 lives would be taken. Now, I'm no math magician as I walk in circles pondering this while also figuring out how fastest to get to my location. Alchemist's Guild Aetherite crystal, that's the sensible one. I am no mathematician, mathemagician, or mathemasorcerer, or mathemawarlock, but I'm pretty certain that there are 2 lives on the line that could still be saved at this point. And being a heroly sort, it is only fair that we do our best to get this bastard before they drop. Where have I seen this man before? A man named Humphrey. You know, I do think we've encountered such a chap before. Halt! Only authorized personnel are allowed in... Foul bugger me with a broadsword! Ouch. It's the Gentleman of Light's adventuring companion and that catty but cute reporter from the Mithril Eye. Well, well, as the music swells, if it isn't the self-styled Warrior of Light, tell me, what tall tales did you spin to the Sultan's Sworn recruiter to land yourself in this position? Only the 12's honest truth, miss. Seeing that Gentleman of Light standing tall and triumphant that day, it moved me to the depths of my soul, like. I vowed to put aside my sketchy past and serve the realm just like my hero, Master Hildibrand. The Sultan's Sworn were impressed with my commitment and my sword arm, and they gladly welcomed me into their ranks. Wait, don't tell me. You've come to assist Master Hildibrand in his investigation, haven't you? Cool, why didn't you say so sooner? It's the least I could do to help the mates who united me with my role model. You'll be wanting to speak with Phyllis. She's one of the Sworn's best, and something of a history buff, it'd seem. When she heard the thief was targeting the 4 relics of Balladia, bloody hell, she personally stepped forward and volunteered to lead the investigation. If anyone has the information you're looking for, it'd be her. Wait here while I get her. I can trust you not to touch anything, aye? Aye. I don't believe there is much that I could touch. There's just a wall, a potted plant, and some people. Nothing interesting or shiny. A pleasure to meet you, Phyllis. My name is Ellie from the Mithril Eye. As you may have heard, we're researching the Phantom Thief case and would appreciate any information that may shed light on recent events. The pleasure is mine, Miss Ellie. And if I'm not mistaken, that would make your companion friend here one Gavaroc Fevinor, yes? Hello. You know Gavaroc? As any regular reader of the Mithril Eye would. I must confess to being something of an unabashed fan of your work. Though it hardly befits my station to say this. I was secretly hoping that you would show up to assist in the investigation. Doubtless the Inspector, too, will also welcome a helping hand. And here is one such, but not the man we were promised. The Sultan's Sworn, the elite of Uldar's elite. I can only hope they prove more competent than the bungling mercenaries I've dealt with thus far. Inspector Briardian, always one step ahead of us. Or behind, in this case. Do note, Ellie, that we arrived first. Miss Ellie. Gavaroc. A moment, if you would. Right there, very good. Now face me and don't move an ilm. Sorry? What? Whoa! Inspector, what is that in your... As we recollected the remnants of our crushed and buggered throats, Briardian explained. Demasking dust. A formula of my own devising that will allow us to see right through the thief's disguises. Analyzing the mask left behind at Vesper Bay, I was able to identify its composition and synthesize a counter-agent that would dissolve the disguise whilst leaving the wearer's face intact. In any event, it would appear the two of you are indeed who you appear to be. In the back of my mind, I imagined a half-formed prototype version of this, in which the leaving of the intact face was not a guarantee. And I'm very glad that Briardian kept working on it. Brilliant, Inspector! The Phantom Thieves pulled the wool over our eyes for the last time. I fear it won't be so simple. The ingredients necessary to produce the dust are exceedingly rare. Even with the entire resources of the Sultan Sworn at our disposal, we were only able to produce a limited supply. I see. Well, I suppose it's better than nothing. That said, have you been able to identify the thief's next target? A hidden treasure of Uldar, the last of the 4 lost relics of Balladia? I fear not. I've pored through the histories time and time again, but the only mention of these 4 relics is a vague reference in an old prophecy. Most serious scholars consider it little more than a fairy tale. When darkness falls and hope fades to despair, 4 warriors born of light shall descend in the righteous glare. The legend goes on to describe 4 sacred artifacts, one each possessed by these 4 Balladian heroes, but makes no mention as to their appearance or nature. 3 times we have tried to identify the thief's target, and 3 times has he foiled us by making off with something else entirely. Needless speculation will only play to the fiend's strengths. All artifacts of Balladian origin have been sealed within the Royal Vault, and a regiment of our finest assigned to its protection. I have furnished all the guards with a supply of demasking dust, and instructed them to be on the lookout for any suspicious personages. The blackguard will be in chains before he can lay a dirty hand on the vault doors, let alone the treasures within. You have our word, my lady. Thank you, Gooey Goo. And my condolences on the terrible name. May your parents be shamed eternally. But there are even more disturbing matters at hand. Doubtless you have heard of the recent rash of murders perpetrated by our quarry. The Sultan Sworn have launched an investigation, but the truth of the matter is, we've been far too occupied with the defence of the vaults to make any meaningful progress. We would be most grateful for any assistance you could offer. Oh dear.
A lady asks, and a gentleman answers. Cast all worry from your heart, my lady. Hildibrand, agent of enquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, has arrived to set right what is wrong and bring the wicked to justice. And this must be the demasking dust that is the talk of the palace. Ah, but you need not waste your supply on me, Inspector. I assure you that I am exactly who I claim to be.
Truly inimitable. A shame, that. Inspector Hildibrand, we were not expecting you, but your services are most welcome. I will share all I know about the recent murders.
Do elaborate, Felice.
The killer has claimed 3 victims thus far. The head of a publishing consortium, a high-ranking government official, and an influential scholar.
Rich pricks, one and all. Good, good. There's like, 50-50 shot that they deserved it.
Other than that they were all influential figures in their respective circles, we can identify no common threads connecting the 3.
This will prove a most satisfying case to crack indeed. And what of the method of killing? Conked over the head with a cudgel? Gutted with a great sword? Strangled with a subligar, mayhap?
I'm afraid that we've identified no pattern. In any event, the murderer plots the deaths of 2 more even as we speak. We must take action, and quickly.
Understood, my lady. Clues may be scarce, but worry not. My realm-renowned powers of deduction are more than up to the task. I will see this burglar-turned-butcher delivered to justice!
Your presence is heartening indeed, Inspector Hildibrand. Friends, please take this demasking dust with you. I fear we can spare but a single sachet, but I trust you will put it to good use. The gentleman of light in the flesh. Hells, he's every bit as muscular and majestic as I remembered. Now, are you sure you're not confusing him with me? Never mind.
Come to accompany me on yet another case, friend? I like your gusto! But if you're auditioning to be my assistant, I fear that role has already been filled most ably. Still, a gentleman welcomes the support of all his admirers. I shall henceforth name you thusly Gavaroc, my ever-loyal associate. And now, my ever-loyal associate, the investigation calls. I propose that we begin by inspecting the site at which the most recent victim met his grisly demise. My questioning about the palace has revealed that the scholar's body was found not far from the 80 sins of Sasimo. Naughty fellow that, if he managed to sin 80 times. Even the most circumspect of criminals cannot help but leave behind clues. Clues that will not elude my gaze. Friends, let us be off. Pray alert me, should you see anyone suspicious, my ever-loyal associate. We must put Miss Phyllis's demasking dust to good use. Well, we certainly wouldn't want to put it to bad use. Thank you again, Miss Phyllis. On behalf of the Sultan Sworn, your assistance with the murder investigation is greatly appreciated. Leave the defense of the Royal Vault to us. $10 says the vault gets plundered. Fastest way out is probably the, this. Western Gate of the Sultana! Right. I could do with some sultanas. It's been a long day. As my floating claw carries me across the rain-soaked Thanalan fields, I regretted my choice of mount as the talons dig into my spine. It hurts a lot, and I long for my magicked bed. Flowers. How intriguing. Flowers. Yes, it is all becoming clear now. Our phantom killer is a florist who, in his hurry to escape, carelessly mislaid his wares.
Just what do you think you're doing, eh? Eh? I'm the one who put those flowers there, eh? To honour the memory of me poor boy, you dare defile his memory, eh? Eh?
1,000 pardons, my ear-splittingly loud lady. Please accept my most sincere condolences on your loss. I am Hildibrand, agent of enquiry, inspector extraordinaire. I swear to you, on my own dear mother's name, that your son's killer will be brought to justice. Justice, yes. Ahem. As I was just saying, these flowers were clearly placed here by the family of the deceased, which can only mean...
Leave this place! Run away while you still can! Run far, far away! Run, or he'll turn you into a zombie, just like my poor, poor boy!
A living person turned into a zombie? Nonsense.
Not nonsense, my boy. History. Or have you not heard of the horrors of Sil'dih? Aye, Uldar's sibling nation, against which we waged war centuries ago. Much blood was shed by both sides, I can't remember what my accent's supposed to be, but I speak of far greater horrors than death. An unholy draught brewed by a Sil'dih alchemist, one with the power to turn the living to the undead, that his nation might command an army of mindless, deathless soldiers, the traitors spurn. They turned my poor boy into a heap of rotten flesh and ran him through. But you won't hear that from the Sultan's sworn. Thal alone knows why, but they whisked the body away before I could so much as pay me last respects.
The trader's sperm. I'd heard the stories, but I never heard them. Never thought them true, third time's the charm. To be able to procure such a frightening thing. Just who are we dealing with here?
A Sil'dih, I'm sure of it. Aye, only a Sil'dih would know the recipe. But the last remnants of Sil'dih died 4 centuries ago, you say? Oh, they did! They did! He calls himself the Phantom Thief, he does. But did it ever occur to you that he might be an honest-to-God's phantom? Hey! Hey! Heard the tales from my own great-great-grandma, I did. About the 4 relics of Belladia and the powers they hold. The power to exact justice. A spectre of Sil'dih has returned to wreak vengeance on us. Woe, woe unto us all. Have the 4 warriors of light forsaken us? My dear boy, if only you'd become a trader like your father. If only you'd kept your nose out of those history books and never so much breathed the accursed name of Sil'dih. But you did, and now we're doomed, doomed, doomed! I don't know if I'm very amused or very mournful. I'm having a very confusing day. Bye.
And the entire gathered crew was lost for words.
That bleeding Orson's here somewhere. I can feel it in me follicles. The most potent hair tonic the realm has ever seen. Aye, that it was. For all of a fortnight, before my flowing locks fell out all over again. And just as I was chatting up a lovely young lass at the quicksand, just to twist the knife an extra ill. Mountebank! Charlatan! I'll find that so-called inspector and his sorry band and pull every last strand of hair from their bleeding skulls.
And nobody knows who he was talking to. And after a confusing 5 minutes of many unnecessarily intense elderly people, we shall take a brief pause before continuing this adventure so that throats can be soothed. Fare thee well.